Hey everybody, my name's Andrew,
And my name is Morag.
and we're back with another Culips episode. Hey Morag, how are you?
I'm doing all right. Little sleepy this morning. How about you, Andrew?
I'm doing well. Hey Morag, I'm sorry. Our schedules are just so opposite of each other that I always have to wake you up early in the morning to record. But you're a trooper and you always get up early to record. So thanks for joining us today.
My pleasure.
Well, today, Morag, we are going to do a Real Talk episode. And Real Talk is the series where we take a close look at situations that you need to know how to navigate if you live in an English speaking country or even if you're visiting an English speaking country. And a reminder that all Culips members can use our learning materials to study with this episode. And our learning materials include a transcript, detailed vocabulary, explanations, and examples, as well as quizzes. And if you're not a Culips member, then you can visit our website, culips.com, for all the information you need to learn about becoming a member. And of course, a huge thank you to all of our members who are listening now, because we wouldn't exist without your support.
Absolutely. Thanks so much, guys. So, Andrew, in this episode, we are going to talk about how to get clothes altered in English.
Exactly. Getting clothes altered. Okay, so this means going to a tailor or a seamstress to get them to adjust your clothes so that they fit better, right?
Yep, that's the idea. Alteration can include things like hemming skirts or pants, getting someone to shorten or tighten sleeves, making the waistband of pants smaller, replacing zippers, buttons, or even taking a whole dress down a couple sizes.
I always have to take my clothes to the tailor for adjustment because my sewing skills are really terrible. And I also have short legs.
Oh.
So if I buy pants, the legs are always too long. But Morag, I was really proud of myself the other day because I sewed on a button back onto my shirt that had popped off.
Oh, that's so sweet. You tried. You did it.
I did it. It's a baby step in the right direction.
It's not that much harder to do things that sound a lot more impressive. Like the other day, the hem of a pair of pants of mine came down while I was at work, and everyone was very impressed that I just sat down, pulled out a sewing kit, and fixed the hem of my pants. But it was very simple, just a couple knots.
Well, even I'm impressed. That sounds pretty amazing, actually.
Took 5 minutes. Come on.
You like to sew, right, Morag?
Yeah, I always had trouble finding clothes that fit too when I was younger.
Mm-hmm.
So I decided to learn a little bit about how to make clothes from scratch and how to change existing pieces of clothing so that they work for you better. And that's what alteration is all about.
Yeah, so when you want to get your clothes altered, you can take them to a couple of different people, either a seamstress or a tailor. And what's the difference between the two?
Well, a seamstress is usually what we call someone, a woman, almost always, who sews and makes clothes for a living. They're usually women's clothes. A tailor, on the other hand, makes men's clothes like suits, but both will offer alteration services. And sometimes You can even get your clothes altered at dry cleaners. I had them put a zipper on.
Yeah, it's very convenient. Take your clothes to get cleaned and altered at the same time.
It's great.
A 2-for-1.
Mm-hmm.
So let's get down to business. And today's episode, we're going to listen to a conversation between a woman who wants to get some clothes altered and a tailor. After we listen to the conversation, we'll break it down and discuss the key vocabulary and expressions that you need to know to get your clothes altered using English.
Awesome. So let's take a listen to that conversation now. We'll get to it right after this message.
Do you like listening to Culips? If so, please show your support by leaving Culips a 5-star rating and a review on iTunes or Stitcher. This helps new listeners find the show. So don't delay. Rate and review today.
Hi there. How's your day going?
Not bad, thanks. How are you?
I'm good. What can I do for you today?
I just got a bunch of hand-me-downs from my sister, but the problem is they're a bit big for me, so I'm looking to get a couple of adjustments done.
Yeah, sure, no problem.
Okay, so first I need these pants hemmed. They're a bit long. I've already marked where I want the hem to end, though.
Okay, great.
Okay, I'd also like you to take in the waist of this dress. I mean, I love the fabric, but when I wear it, I look frumpy. I'd like it to be a bit more fitted.
That's no problem. Would you like to put it on so I can take a measurement? The changing room's just over there.
Oh, that's okay. I already measured it at home. I need it to be taken in by 4 centimeters.
Perfect. Okay, well, let's see. I should be able to get these done in just a couple days. If you could write your name down and your phone number too, just right here. I'll give you a call when they're ready.
Sounds good. Thank you so much.
Hey, no worries. Have a good day.
We just heard a conversation between a tailor and a customer who wants to get some clothes altered. Now let's take a closer look at the important vocabulary and expressions that we heard.
Okay, Morag. So let's go through that conversation one more time and look at some of the important expressions. The first one I think we should talk about today is hand-me-downs. Hand-me-downs. Let's listen to that part of the conversation just one more time.
I just got a bunch of hand-me-downs from my sister.
Okay, hand me down. Again, this is H-A-N-D, like what's attached to your arm. Me, and then down, the preposition down. And okay, Morag, what is a hand-me-down?
Well, luckily, I am very familiar with hand-me-downs.
Uh-huh.
I used to get them all the time when I was a kid from cousins because what a hand-me-down is it's something that someone else has owned and then it is given to you, usually from family members, older siblings, that kind of thing. So it's used clothing from someone you are close to.
Exactly. And we use this expression all the time when we talk about kids' clothing, right? Because it just makes sense in a family. If you have a couple of kids and they grow really quickly, instead of buying everybody new clothes, you can just hand the clothes down from one child to the next child. And we call these used items of clothing hand-me-downs. And in the conversation, the customer just got some hand-me-downs from her sister. So even though I am assuming that the customer is not a child, she's a grown-up, we can still use this expression hand-me-downs in a cute way to say that she got some clothes from her sister. Maybe her sister was doing some spring cleaning and gave them to her. And so she took them to the tailor for alteration so that they would fit properly.
Mm-hmm.
I was lucky enough to be the oldest child in my family. So all of my clothes were new, but my younger brother definitely had to wear hand-me-downs.
Yeah, I shouldn't complain too much. I was really an only child, but like I said, I used to get these giant boxes from my grandmother of my cousin's clothes from 4,500 kilometers away from Ottawa. It sounds nuts, right?
It is a little bit extreme, but hey, it's good for the planet, recycling.
Exactly. Oh, wow, that brought me back.
What is the next key part of the conversation, Morag?
I think that would be where the customer asks for something to be hemmed. So the key word here is hem or hemming. Let's listen to that part one more time. So first I need these pants hemmed. They're a bit long. So first I need these pants hemmed. They're a bit long. The hem is any end of a piece of clothing. So the end of your shirt or your pants or pretty much anything. Whenever the fabric is rolled over itself and stitched down so that it won't unravel at the end, that's a hem. So if you're hemming something, it's usually taking the hem up and making it shorter. Although you can let a hem down and make pants or skirt or a dress longer, depending on how much extra fabric is in there.
Now, one time I took my pants to get hemmed and I made a big mistake, which is I didn't specify the color of thread that I wanted to be used. I had black jeans, but the tailor used gold thread like you would on a regular pair of blue jeans. So it looked a little funny.
Sometimes tailors will, or seamstresses too, will sort of try to make things a little better or a little more interesting or to their tastes. So sometimes finding someone to alter your clothes is very similar to finding someone to cut your hair. You need to agree on what looks good because, yeah, that gold thread.
Didn't look good against the black, I gotta say.
No.
So I learned my lesson, and that is always be very specific about the service you want to receive. Be very clear with your instructions. And that would be my tip to all the listeners out there. All right, so the next key part of the conversation that I want to take a quick look at is when the customer asks the tailor to take in the waist of a dress, okay? Take in the waist of a dress. So we have a nice phrasal verb here, to take in. Now let's listen to that part of the conversation again.
I'd also like you to take in the waist of this dress. I'd also like you to take in the waist of this dress.
All right, Morag. So my guess, and now I'm no expert here, but I would like to think that take in means to make smaller. Is this true? Is this what this means, to take in the waist of the dress, to give it a smaller waist size?
You are correct.
Woohoo! Now, could we also use this verb, the opposite version, to take out the waist? Would that work? To make something bigger? Could we say to take out?
No, you can't do that. The opposite is to let out.
To let out, right.
But that applies only if there is fabric there.
Right, because, of course, tailors aren't magicians. They can't just make some extra fabric appear.
But they can still, if you say that you need something, you want like a waist let out, usually they'll be able to put an extra panel, make some detailing or something. They're pretty magical, despite not being magicians.
They can still work magic with the sewing needle and some thread. I like it. So yeah, two nice phrasal verbs here. To take in, meaning to make clothes smaller, especially when we talk about the size of the waist or even the size of the pant opening, the leg opening, or the sleeve opening, right? All of those spots we could take in to make them smaller. Or, like you just said, Morag, we can let them out to make them a little bit bigger also.
Okay, Andrew. So the next piece of the conversation we want to look at comes right after the customer requesting the dress to be taken in. She says that she feels frumpy when she wears the dress as it is. So we're going to look at this word frumpy. It's Frumpy. Let's take a listen to that section of the conversation one more time.
Okay.
I mean, I love the fabric, but when I wear it, I look frumpy.
Yeah, frumpy. I really like to say this word, frumpy. And
It's fun.
if you look frumpy, what do you look like?
So frumpy means your clothes don't fit well. It's not just baggy, it's not just large, it's just they're not right. You just don't look put together.
I always feel frumpy whenever I try on my friend's clothes, Maybe I'm over at my friend's house and suddenly it gets really cool. So I ask to borrow a sweater or something. Then I put it on, it just doesn't fit right. It's a little too big and I feel really boxy and a little sloppy. This is a frumpy look.
Yeah, it definitely is related to clothes not fitting properly, being ill-fitting on the larger side.
Exactly. Yeah. We wouldn't use this expression for clothes that are too small, only for things that are too big.
As much as saying frumpy is fun, feeling frumpy is terrible.
Yeah, totally. You could also say, I look like a frump, right? I look frumpy or I look like a frump.
That might be a fun one to say.
The opposite of frumpy is to wear clothes that are fitted, right? And we actually heard that expression used in the very next sentence in the conversation. The customer said that she wanted the dress to be more fitted. So let's take a listen to that part one more time.
I'd like it to be a bit more fitted.
Again, fitted is the adjective we use to describe clothes that fit well.
If you're like me, you can just wear kind of spandexy jeans and never have to worry about this again.
That's awesome. I also like the spandexy jeans. That was a great invention.
Yeah, spandexy black jeans, done. Outfit's over for the rest of my life. We're good.
I concur.
Which is nice because then I will never have to deal with our next expression, which is to take a measurement. And this happened, again, right after the section we just talked about. If we can just listen one more time to what the tailor says.
Would you like to put it on so I can take a measurement?
So the tailor asked to be able to take a measurement of the customer. And this is a very normal thing that a tailor or seamstress will ask. They're going to measure your body and measure the clothing and make sure it all fits or discover how to make it fit. And usually they'll ask you to put on that piece of clothing, so they can see what needs to be done.
Yeah, and I thought it was important to highlight this expression to take a measurement because maybe it seems a little bit bizarre to use the verb take and then the noun a measurement because, we do have the verb to measure, but it would be strange to ask somebody like, do you want to put on those clothes so I can measure you? Because when we say measure you, then I'm thinking my height, right? I'm thinking about how tall I am. But we take a measurement, we're measuring your clothes. So I thought it was important to make that distinction that it's actually a little weird to use the verb to measure when talking about clothes.
It's true. To take measurements you can do with a couple different sorts of activities, but it's like you can take measurements for furniture and that sort of thing. But it's usually when you have like an end goal. You're trying to do something. You're trying to accomplish something that involves measurements.
Totally.
Like you're trying to figure out what you can put in a room or how exactly to change a whole piece of clothing. If you're just measuring one thing out by yourself, you probably wouldn't say, I need to take a measurement.
Yeah. We also use take a measurement all the time when building things and doing construction projects.
And this is sort of like clothes construction or clothing repair.
Well, we also have the expression measure twice, cut once, right? This is a construction idiom or I guess words of wisdom in the construction industry, but I think it applies also to tailors. I'm sure a tailor wants to take measurements twice and make the cut once because, once you make that hem, there's no going back.
It is true. Yes, it definitely applies to sewing as well. Okay, well, Andrew, I think that brings us to the end of today's episode.
Yeah, and for all of you that want to listen to the conversation that we heard today one more time, we will replay it in just a moment, so please stay tuned for that.
And if you enjoyed today's episode, please support us.
Yeah, you can visit our website, culips.com. Again, that is the place where you can sign up to become a member and take advantage of the learning materials for this episode and all our other episodes. And we really believe that they will help take your English studies to the next level. As well, if you have any questions or comments for us, you can send us a message through our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/culipspodcast. And again, our website is culips.com.
All right, that's it for now, everyone. We will be back soon with another new episode.
Bye.
Bye.
Hi there. How's your day going?
Not bad, thanks. How are you?
I'm good. What can I do for you today?
I just got a bunch of hand-me-downs from my sister, but the problem is they're a bit big for me, so I'm looking to get a couple of adjustments done.
Yeah, sure, no problem.
Okay, so first I need these pants hemmed. They're a bit long. I've already marked where I want the hem to end, though.
Okay, great.
Okay, I'd also like you to take in the waist of this dress. I mean, I love the fabric, but when I wear it, I look frumpy. I'd like it to be a bit more fitted.
That's no problem. Would you like to put it on so I can take a measurement? The changing room's just over there.
Oh, that's okay. I already measured it at home. I need it to be taken in by 4 centimeters.
Perfect. Okay, well, let's see. I should be able to get these done in just a couple days. If you could write your name down and your phone number too, just right here. I'll give you a call when they're ready.
Sounds good. Thank you so much.
Hey, no worries. Have a good day.